G'day, I'm glad you could join me. This video is about adapting boats, but after that I'm going to have another Salty Pete handy hint and then answer any questions or comments that have been made on previous videos. Meanwhile, on with the show. I've been to the local boat show and have watched boats being demonstrated on YouTube, but they all seem to have one thing in common: they're made for one particular purpose. For example, a fishing boat will have welded in the back of the fishing boat, it'll have a place for cutting up fish, there'll be a live bait tank, lots of rod holders around the place. And that's about it. And then you go to another boat, and this boat is made for entertaining. It's got nice seats all around, it's got a barbecue in the back, fridge for the drinks, a little sink, and sometimes chairs and tables on the inside if there's a cabin. And I thought that's interesting, because boats seem to be made for one particular purpose. But what if you've got a fishing boat and you think, I'd like to take my friends out for a bit of a cruise? I wish I had a boat with lots of seats in it and a lounge with a barbecue. Well, I've got a fishing boat. And of course, conversely, if you've got a boat with all these seats around and it's just an entertaining boat, you want to take your mates out fishing and it's not really a fishing boat, what do you do? But nobody seems to be manufacturing a boat that you can change from one type of boat to another. Now, I've got a small Highfield 380 and I've adapted it for using for different occasions. And I'd like to show you what I mean by adapting a boat for different reasons. So let's go outside and I'll show you what I mean. Here is the boat, basically with a clear deck as you get it out of the factory. Great for running up on the beach, good for running the kids around. Great fun time when you are down at the beach. But what if I want to go fishing? And now it's a fishing boat. On the bow of the boat I have two fishing rod holders set up. In between there is my knife set with a cutting board. Just in front of the driver's seat is the tackle box with a range of shelves, and at the bottom a slide out container for the larger pieces of fishing gear. And also in front of there is a bag for ice and bait. So there is my boat, my wonderful Highfield, set up for fishing. But hey, say the weather's looking really good tomorrow, I want to go diving. And now we have a dive boat with the dive compressor mounted on the bow, and down on the deck we have a battery strapped down and my dive hose on the side of the deck. If you can see my dive hose, then you'll notice that it's not actually coiled up correctly, in case you want to criticize me for not coiling my dive hose up correctly, but I don't intend going diving, unfortunately. Now, there's also room in the boat for an esky, which I always take some drinks and some food with me. And also there's an esky for putting in anything I might catch while I'm underwater. There may be some fine weather coming up, and I may wish to take some of my friends out for a few drinks, a few nibblies. I need then to turn my boat into a party boat. So let's do that. And now we have a party boat. As you can see, plenty of shade for the party goers. Got a table here with cup holders, and here is our esky where we keep our drinks and a few nibblies, and there's other room for picnic baskets and so forth around the place. And to get the party cracking, sorry that's the wind blowing the doors, pretty windy today, and to get the party moving, we have a Fusion stereo system. That also has a blue backlight to give us a nice party feeling. So there you have it. If I can convert my boat for different uses, why can't boat manufacturers? There is a downside of this, of course, that if you take all your fishing gear out of your boat, you're going to need somewhere to store it while you put all your, say, entertaining gear into the boat. The next question, of course, is how did I manage to bolt things down to the deck of my boat? Because the deck of my boat's probably only a few millimetres thick. Well, to do that we use a little gadget called a nut cert, or a rivet nut. And I've got one right here. This little thing on the end, I'll see if I can get a close-up on it for you. There it is, that's the screw going through it. I can screw the screw out and just leave you with the nut. So how this works, I'll put it onto the whiteboard for you. Okay, we'll assume this is the deck of your boat and you've drilled a hole through it. So that's a hole in the deck of your boat. The nut set sits in there, and inside there is a thread. You can stick an adapter in there with a screwed adapter, and then when you screw this up, this bulges out underneath the deck. That's why it's called a rivet nut in some cases, or as I've also known them as nut sets, or sorry, nut certs. So the next question is, how do you insert the nut certs? Well, what you can do is put it in, put a piece of threaded rod in the nut cert, then screw a nut down on it and expand the nut cert under the deck. But I'll just duck down on the floor here. You can get a nut cert drill adapter. What this does, it sits on your drill, if I can work out how to open it. Here we go. So that's the machine there. You put that on the chuck of your electric drill at this end, and then special adapters here with different threads on them. You thread into the nut set, and then just as you drill it, it opens out the nut set under the deck, and you're away. Now you can also get air operated ones that look like a rivet gun. So you just put the screw into the, I think the air gun actually screws in and then pulls up, so it expands a nut cert or rivet nut under the deck. Now they can be used in lots of different places, not just for boats, and they're not very common. They're not in my local hardware store. If I want them, I have to order them in. I probably can get them from a specialised nut supplier, but no, they're not common in hardware stores, unfortunately. Now, a few points to make. First of all, when you're drilling under your deck, where's my pen? When you're drilling under your deck, like my deck's like that, and then it's shaped like that. I think it's more of a V, but make sure you got enough clearance under your deck to drill. You don't want to damage the hull underneath. Another thing you want to do is make sure that you're not voiding your warranty by drilling holes in your deck. I think my boat, it might still be under warranty. I think Highfield gives you a 5-year warranty. So whether I've voided the warranty by drilling holes in the deck, but it doesn't compromise the integrity of the deck at all. Another thing to take, and incidentally, this is only useful in aluminium or steel boats. If you've got GRP, also known as fiberglass, it's not going to work. Only for aluminium and steel. The nutsets themselves come in different materials. So the one I'm using obviously is an aluminium nutset. And I don't know if you can get stainless steel ones, but you can get steel nutsets. So you make sure that you're putting the same material in the deck. Another point to watch out for is sometimes they'll weld the deck and the hull into an airtight container. And if you drill holes in it and put nutsets, you're going to not make it airtight anymore. So if you do that, you probably need to put some screws in and block off the holes or the bolt holes that you're not using. Alright, so this now comes to Salty Pete's handy hint. I think my mind's going crazy at the moment. Right, you're drilling into the deck. You know when you're drilling, all of a sudden you're drilling and all of a sudden, boom, it goes through and your drill surges forward. Well, of course, you're trying to drill in the deck here, your drill could come down and accidentally hit the hull. Or, this is not only for marine applications, if you want to put some threads in the side of an electrical box. You obviously open up the cabinet, make sure there's no electrical wires inside, or you could be drilling into something that's got air pipes, water pipes or bagpipes. You want to make sure that your drill doesn't go boom and hits whatever's inside. So here's our handy hint for the day. I just have to bend over and pick up my electric drill. So we have a drill now, ready to drill a hole for a nutset, but we don't want the drill to all of a sudden surge through and damage anything, so we cut a piece of tube that fits over the drill. So that drill is sticking out a bit. Well, I suppose it's about right for my deck. I think this is the drill I use for the 6mm nutsets. But that sits over the drill, so when you drill through, you're only going to drill through the thickness of material, and your drill is not going to plunge in and hit whatever's inside. So there's your handy hint. And there's plenty of applications that I've used outside of marine that you need to stop your drill from hitting anything inside. So that's Salty Pete's handy hint. I hope that becomes useful for you. I've actually bought a length of steel tube, and whenever I'm doing a job I just cut a piece of steel tube to length, and then I've got a container with all my lengths of steel tube in. So whatever length drill I'm using, I pretty well got a bit of steel tube that will suit. If not, I just cut another length off. Now, to deal with questions, comments. One from my last video was Robert. That was on the selecting a prop for my boat. Well, first of all, Robert, I do apologise. I did say that I'm not very good at explaining things. And Robert gave me some advice on using a plate on my cavitation plate to bring the boat up on the plane earlier. I shouldn't have mentioned the word plane. When the boat went on the plane was not really a problem for me. I don't know why I mentioned it. But no, I'm not worried about what speed the boat is going on the plane at. I did make a video on my outboard, which I didn't make public. I just made that for a rib forum that I'm on. So I might make that public, and I put a link down below to show you exactly what the problem was, Robert, and what I was trying to overcome. And that was to overcome an area in my acceleration where my engine takes off by itself. Now, the comment that you made about the propeller overloading the outboard, no, if you look at the part of the video where I explained why I selected that prop, was to suit the load on the boat. Right, I'm not going to overload the outboard because there's only my weight on the boat, which is only 11%. I think I worked out to 11% of the total load I can have on the boat. So then I could have a larger pitch prop. If I had 4 people on the boat, then I'd revert back to my original prop. Or if I was doing a tour in the upper reaches of some of our waterways, there's a 5-knot limit. Engines don't like being run at low revs for too long, so I wouldn't use the prop. When in fact I've bought the prop for it, a 14-inch pitch. I'd go back to, forget what I've got on there now, I think a 10-inch pitch. So the engine's running faster when I'm in an area where I can only do 5 knots. So I hope that clears up that, Robert. I won't be overloading the outboard at all, and I don't care when the boat goes on the plane. Okay, thanks very much for watching this video. I don't normally ask, oh excuse me, I don't normally ask people to subscribe or make a comment or anything, but I don't know. I think if people like your videos, they'll subscribe anyway. And some people, they say that, well, a spider will crawl on your face when you're in bed tonight, or a centipede will crawl on your face when you're in bed tonight. But I'd just like to say that if you don't subscribe, I'm going to slide into bed with you tonight. And that's really creepy. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.